In the quiet town of Harrowsfield, a chilling event has occurred. A veil of unease has drifted over the peaceful community, a stark contrast to the ordinarily serene lifestyle of its inhabitants. At the heart of this disquiet is the sudden and inexplicable disappearance of Sarah, a beloved local resident. Sarah, known for her vivacious charm and infectious laughter, was last seen on an ordinary evening, her cheerful voice fading into the twilight as she ventured into the whispering woods. Those woods, once a haven of tranquility and natural beauty, have transformed into a haunting symbol of the town's shared dread. The search for Sarah was swift and thorough. Scores of townsfolk, spurred by a unified sense of urgency, combed through the dense foliage day after day. The local authorities, with their stern faces and solemn promises, conducted their investigation with unyielding determination. Despite their efforts, the only traces of Sarah were her footprints, disappearing mysteriously into the heart of the woods. The fruitless search sent a ripple of fear through Harrowsfield, a fear that clung to each home and echoed in the silence of the abandoned streets. In the wake of Sarah's disappearance, an eerie feeling settled over the town. It was as if the very air held its breath, the usual hum of life replaced by an unsettling quiet. Every creak of a branch, every rustle of the leaves seemed to whisper Sarah's name. The once familiar sounds of the woods now carried an undercurrent of menace, each echo a chilling reminder of the mystery that lay within its depths. The town's lively spirit gradually gave way to a grim acceptance. The laughter ceased, the chatter stilled, replaced by whispers of concern and hushed prayers for Sarah's safe return. The whispering woods, once a place of tranquility, now resonated with an eerie silence, a chilling omen of the horrors yet to unfold. The whispering woods holds a dark history that the townsfolk prefer to forget. Its very name sends a shiver down the spine, a cold reminder of the unsettling tales passed down from generation to generation. The woods have always been a place of mystery and fear. Its dense foliage and eerie silence have long been the setting for strange occurrences that defy logical explanation. Whispers of the wind carrying voices, shadows that seem to move on their own, and chilling cries in the dead of the night have plagued the woods for centuries. Among the many tales, one legend holds a particular resonance. It speaks of an ancient spirit, a dark entity said to dwell deep within the heart of the woods. This entity, they say, feeds off the fear of the unsuspecting souls who dare to set foot in its domain. Those who have ventured too far have often not returned, their unexplained disappearances adding to the growing list of chilling tales. The stories of the Whispering Woods don't end with the spirit. There are tales of strange lights floating in the darkness, of time seeming to stand still, and of an eerie fog that descends without warning, swallowing everything in its path. Each story adds another layer to the haunted history of this ominous place. And then there's the chilling legend of the lost children. In the late 18th century, it is said that a group of children ventured into the woods, lured by the soft whispers and the promise of adventure. They were never seen or heard from again. Their disappearance remains a mystery, a chilling reminder of the dangers that lurk within the Whispering Woods. Could Sarah's disappearance be linked to the haunted history of the Whispering Woods? The town was about to find out. In the face of fear and uncertainty, one brave soul dared to enter the Whispering Woods. This was none other than Detective James, a seasoned investigator with a reputation for cracking the toughest of cases. However, this was not merely a case, it was a chilling enigma that had swallowed Sarah whole, leaving only a trail of fear and bewilderment. As Detective James delved deeper into the woods, the trees around him seemed to whisper in a language that was as old as the woods themselves. A language of despair, of secrets kept for centuries, of countless tales of terror. An eerie symphony of rustling leaves, creaking branches, and haunting hoots filled the air, creating an unsettling serenade that played on the strings of his nerves. Every step he took felt like a leap into the unknown. The deeper he ventured, the thicker the woods grew, their twisted branches reaching out like gnarled hands as if trying to pull him into their ancient secret. The woods had a life of their own, a pulse that throbbed with a terrifying energy that was almost palpable. The usual sounds of the forest were replaced by an oppressive silence, interrupted only by the occasional whispering wind that seemed to carry a warning. Detective James felt an icy shiver run down his spine. He was being watched. The feeling was undeniable. It was as if the very air around him was heavy with unseen eyes, observing his every move, studying him. It was a feeling of dread that seemed to seep into his very bones, a chilling sensation that made the hairs on the back of his neck stand on end. He was not alone in these woods. The sun began to set, casting long, menacing shadows that danced and twisted among the trees. The once familiar surroundings turned alien as darkness veiled the woods in its cruel shroud. Detective James, the man who had fearlessly walked into countless dangerous situations, found himself lost in the labyrinth of the whispering woods. The eeriness of the woods was no longer just a feeling, it was a living, breathing entity. As night fell, Detective James found himself lost in the labyrinth of the whispering woods, with the feeling of dread growing stronger. In the heart of the whispering woods, Detective James made a bone-chilling discovery. Deep within the shadowy forest, where the sun's rays struggled to pierce the thick canopy of leaves, stood an old, abandoned house. Its once vibrant paint was now faded and peeling, and the wooden boards creaked ominously under James's careful steps. Its windows, like vacant eyes, stared into the nothingness of the woods, holding secrets of the past. As he pushed open the weathered front door, a gust of stale, musty air rushed out, making him shudder. Each room was a time capsule, frozen in a bygone era, but amid the cobwebs and dust, James found signs of recent disturbance. A child's drawing crumpled on the floor, a half-eaten sandwich on a table, and most chillingly a small pink hair clip that he recognized as Sarah's. The sight of it there, in that forsaken place, sent a chill down his spine. But the house held more than just traces of Sarah. In a corner of the living room, James discovered a diary. Its pages yellowed with age. The entries were penned by different hands, each one detailing horrifying experiences within these very walls. The diary spoke of strange noises, whispers in the dark, and chilling apparitions that seemed to come alive in the dead of night. It told stories of previous occupants who had mysteriously vanished, just like Sarah. As James read, the words painted a terrifying picture, a story of a house that wasn't merely abandoned, but haunted. Each entry was a testament to the terror that had unfolded within these walls, the silent screams that echoed through the years. The diary's last entry, a desperate plea for help, was dated the same day Sarah disappeared. James's heart pounded in his chest as he absorbed the implications. The whispering woods held a sinister secret, and he was standing in the heart of it. The story of the haunting was not merely a tale, it was a chilling reality. The terrifying truth behind the whispering woods was far more horrifying than anyone could have imagined. The spine-chilling whispers that echoed through the trees were not merely the wind's handiwork, nor the rustling of leaves. They were the desperate pleas of a vengeful spirit, a spectral woman who had once been banished, left to perish in the unforgiving wilderness. Now she was not just a part of the woods, she was the woods. The gnarled trees, the rustling leaves, the eerie whispers, they were all manifestations of her eternal anguish. She was not just a spirit lost in the woods, she was the woods. And she was hungry, starving for the very thing that had led to her doom, fear. Her appetite was insatiable, her methods terrifying. She lured her victims into the dilapidated old house nestled deep within the woods, playing on their curiosity, their sympathy, their fear. Once inside, they would be consumed by their worst nightmares, their fear feeding the spirit, making her stronger. This was the fate that had befallen Sarah. She had not simply disappeared, she had been taken, lured into the woods by the whispers, trapped in the old house, and consumed by her own fear. She had become another victim of the vengeful spirit, another soul lost in the whispering woods. And the most terrifying part, Sarah was not the first to be taken, and unless the spirit's hunger for fear could be sated, she would not be the last. The haunting of the whispering woods continues to this day, the whispers growing louder, the spirit growing stronger. Sarah was not the first victim, and unless the spirit is appeased, she would not be the last. The haunting of the whispering woods continues to this day, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurks in the shadows.